players turning up for camp. You know, they don't have a choice. You know, I think what can happen and what has always happened is a relationship between clubs, and there will be some associations, some countries that will have an association with a club that maybe allows a particular player to come, you know, 2 days later than the others.
Right, flex and bend a bit.
Yes, and that's something that's I think has always been the case. He's a very talented player.
Yes,
there's no doubt. He's a very talented player.
Yes,
there's no doubt. Came to a wonderful academy in Ghana. Obviously had a good period of time at Ajax where they moved his position. The type of player he is, you look at him as a 10 because he's a goal scorer. You want to get him close to goal, but he has had good success playing on the right-hand side. I think what David has done, and I must admit, I was delighted when he went there, because what I knew would happen with him is that I think particularly with the way that David sets up his teams, I knew he would put him into a structure, because there is a train of thought that Kudus is the type of player that you want to give him some relative freedom. In the way that he plays. But if I'm looking at him at this moment, playing on that right-hand side, I think David has adapted his role where he has given him as much freedom as he could, and still he's producing. So I think eventually, I think he would be a 10, a form of a 10 somewhere, but he's somebody that's very talented right across that forward line.
An asset.
Or as an asset.
There's no free positions anymore, Chris.
There aren't. But there are a way of playing, or individuals that perhaps just are allowed a little bit more freedom than others.
Okay, so you heard Coach Chris Hughton talking about the scheduling of the Africa Cup of Nations and how sometimes clubs in England get very uncomfortable with it. This definitely is a perennial problem. And of course, he's been talking about the man who now will be the poster boy of the Black Stars team, West Ham's Kudus Mohammed, and how multifunctional he could possibly be. Get into the conversations very shortly, and I guess that would have to start off with the Africa Cup of Nations. Another development coming up with monies paid by FIFA to Ghana for the FIFA Forward program. We'll be getting some in-house analysis, but do remember that you can get some free concert tickets and shopping vouchers up to 500 Ghana cedis. And you know how much could get you all of these? 10 Ghana cedis only. So you can shop at Melcom and get free tickets and shopping vouchers worth 500 Ghana cedis, and get some buckets of juicy chicken at KFC every week this December. So every week, and I'm talking about this particular week as well. And President of the Ghana Armed Wrestling Federation joining us here for the start of the conversations. We'll be joined later by some more of our panelists as we try to look back at the year 2023. Charles, thank you so much for your time. Toki, thank you so much. Let's see if we can...
IMF cannot save us, right? Because we've done IMF 16 times, getting to 17 times now. We were on an IMF program for the best part of this government until recently, right? Up to the
all right, having a bit of a challenge there. Charles, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. In that respect.
All right. We'll be getting back to Charles very shortly. Charles, there with us. Getting a bit of interference in the sound. And so, Charles, you just hold on for us. We'll be rectifying that very, very shortly here on the Joy Sports Link on Joy 99.7 FM. We've been taking a listen to some of the major sound bites this week as well. Would focus on Ghana FA President Kurt Okraku as well, as we get ourselves ready to zoom in on the conversation, beginning with the General Secretary of the Sports Writers Association of Ghana, who's also President of the African Arm Wrestling Federation, here on the show.
Everybody in Ghana saw what happened. We are looking forward to having a much better outing at the AFCON. Fortunately for us, it's happening just next door to us, and we'll call on all Ghanaians to be supportive of our Black Stars. That is the national team that we have. And even if it is that the national team are not scintillating as we would love, that is the national team we have, and it's important we throw our weight behind the boys so they have the right levels of energy to be able to perform for Mother Ghana.
President, when you say the team is looking to perform, what would be that realistic target for
I think we are here to talk about Techno and the Ghana Football Association. I'm not here to speak really about the AFCON, but obviously the AFCON is right around the corner, and we want the Black Stars to excel. This initial partnership is for a 6-month tenure, hoping that we would extend it for more years along the line. Indeed, it must be mutually beneficial to the FA and to Techno, and when we play our part, and when they are happy, and when they play their part, and we are happy, I'm sure we will extend this relationship.
All right, so that was President of the Ghana FA. The President of the Ghana FA, Kurt Okreku, there, and he was addressing issues of the Black Stars, our preparedness and all of that. Of course, that was the renewal of the contract between the Ghana FA and Techno, and so we will be getting all of that later on. But joining us very shortly will be Charles Osei-Sibe. All right, so Charles Osei-Sibe will be joining us very shortly for the rest of the conversations. While we do that and get ourselves ready and sort all of those things out, let's now take a listen as well to a man who's been to the Africa Cup of Nations before. He's been in post for Ghana at the Africa Cup of Nations and also at the FIFA World Cup. We all do remember him for his celebration, unusual celebration when he saved a ball from Cristiano Ronaldo when Ghana played against Portugal in Brazil at the FIFA World Cup. Now, Fatau Dauda has been speaking to Joy Sports, and he's been talking about this subject of juju that always keeps coming back. Now, he was accused of using voodoo to, achieve that place or get that place of a number one choice at the time when he got it during the Africa Cup of Nations and also at the FIFA World Cup. He's been addressing this particular matter. Let's take a listen to him before getting into the substantive issues for our preparation for the Africa Cup of Nations.
Let me tell you one thing people don't know about Kwarase.
By the end of the second quarter,
when I was going to play the game, he came to my room to tell me, Fatau, we are going to beat us. I remember the game after Akivet, he came back to the hotel. He was having some Samsung, new one. New. That's on phone. Very expensive. Kwarase, he has this white people mindset. So he came and said, Fatau, this boy, I bought it for $1,500. But give me any amount and take it. I'm dashing it to you. And so I have 500. I said, no, bring it. So it's like he dashed me the phone after that game. And then Kojo Asamoah also called me in his room and gave me $1,000 because of that game. Anytime we play the game, before we finish tossing, whatever we do, Kwarase will come, hug me before I go to the foot. So, you know something? If you are strong in prayers and people are trying to get it, they will tell you are a devil. I will never in my life go and do. What I do is I pray to get protected, not to get injuries. I can never pray to tell God to let me perform because, okay, if I sit down, I don't train, how can I perform? No, you need to train. You need to learn the basics and go and perform. The only thing you can pray for is maybe to avoid injuries.
So you didn't do juju for...
I prayed a lot. Me, whenever I'm going to play match, let me tell you, the ships I slaughter in my life is going about 300. 300 ships in my life, I'm telling you. And if I'm going to pray, they don't pray for me alone. They pray for the whole team.
So why do you slaughter them?
It's prayers. I need to pray. I'm Muslim. I believe in Quran. You have to recite the Quran and then slaughter.
Okay. So that's what, Fatau Dauda does. That's his, that's what he practices. And he's explained the rationale behind all of it. And he's explained what it's meant for as well and what it does for him as a player. All of these are conversations that come up when we're preparing ourselves for big, football seasons such as these. And I'm sure that Charles Osei-Sibe is also very used to these kinds of stories. Charles, thank you for staying on with us.
Interesting with the 300 cows.
Anyway, how many have you slaughtered?
Unfortunately, I haven't done that, but I know I have been involved in the preparation of the Black Stars as they go through the qualifiers and as they go for major tournaments. But I don't remember slaughtering any cow. But I remember when I was working with 11 Wise, the supporters will come to you and say that this match is crucial. So it is important you support them to go and do that. And indeed, they will take money to go buy a cow or whatever. And, you know, in their quest to win games, they call it prayers. That's what they believe in. So we allow them to do it whilst we focus on the preparation of the team.
Charlie, we have to prepare some oxtail sauce and stop all this slaughtering for free. Anyway, so let's get down to the business. We're in December and we've gone a full cycle of a sporting calendar. We're beginning with the Black Stars, of course, but obviously on the very sad note of losing some two key players. The best player in the year 2015, Christian Atsu, who suffered, saw his untimely death during that unfortunate earthquake that hit Turkey, and also Raphael Dramina, who continued to fight and continued to play, even though he knew he had a problem that could take him away.
Well, on behalf of their families and on behalf of the FA, sports journalists and all, as we remember these top talents, we just want to, because they played for Ghana, our heartfelt condolences to the people of Ghana, who truly these young men were making them happy. The demise of Atsu didn't come right. The demise of Dramina also came as shocking, even though we knew he had health issues. But both were unexpected. And Ghana lost so much. Atsu, for instance, wasn't done with football. He had so much football in him. Reasons for which he didn't play for the national team at some point, we cannot talk about it now. But we all know that the demise of Atsu and how it came about was shocking to the world, not only Ghana. But we have lost some great talents, and we can only wish their souls well. May the good Lord keep their souls. We pray that the Lord who loves Ghana will give us pretty quality talent, probably more than these guys who have lost, to make the dream of the Black Stars and the dream of Ghanaians, come into a reality. So it's just unfortunate. It was unexpected, but it happened. The Lord give it, the Lord take it.
Let's also briefly touch on the kinds of lessons that we all need to learn as a collective from Raphael Dramina's case especially.
I think as sportsmen and women, or even as the ordinary Ghanaian, we don't pay attention to our medics. Elsewhere in Europe and America, regularly you would go for checkup. Even here, the elites who believe or who are the elite will normally have a family doctor. They will check you regularly, 6 months, 1 year, tell you what to do and what not to do. Those who can afford will do this. But you see, fortunately for us, it's not just about those who can afford. It is important whether you have health insurance or otherwise. It is important if you cannot have a family doctor, go and check up. Now, you and I know that even the cars we drive, there's a regular routine. Either you do a monthly checkup or you do a quarterly checkup. Every morning before you drive your car, you check whether you have water, the oil level is fine, your tires are okay. And that's how we need to take care of our bodies. I think as the year is coming to an end, as we prepare our minds moving into the new year, we must have a different orientation about how we take care of ourselves and the kind of attention we pay to the medical doctors when they tell us what our challenges are. We need to be mindful of our bodies. We need to be mindful of our health. Now, wisdom is given to us by God, not to just outsmart people or to get things done. But if we apply wisdom, we will live long. The best way to live long is the application of wisdom. God has given us this wisdom to apply, to use them. So once you get the idea to see a doctor. Things you are not supposed to do, you don't do them. Things you are supposed to do to check your health, you must do them. The application of wisdom and discipline will let a lot of things change.
Great stuff there. And we're hoping that none of such ever happens, especially with these painful examples or these painful experiences that we've had. We will have everybody be on the alert and be more proactive when it comes to issues of health. And I'm very sure that institutions, including the Professional Footballers Association of Ghana, are taking this up very, very seriously, so that we can see less of such incidents. Let's also go into the key moments for our players. I mean, we had some very key moves. Key amongst them surely has been that of Kudus Mohammed, who now would say is, the poster boy of the Black Stars team. For you, what does it mean for our national team, and what does it also mean for his peers and the young, the crop of young players who are looking forward to infiltrating the spaces in our national teams?
Well, I didn't get your last question right, but I guess you're talking about Kudus Mohammed, who is our poster boy. If it's related to health, then I feel that he just has to pay attention to what the medics say. He needs to be mindful of the engine in him. I have said that the rate at which Kudus is playing today, I haven't seen since I started following football. I haven't seen any Ghanaian. Yes, I have seen Michael Essien do great things. I've seen Sule Muntari do great things. But Kudus is on a different level. Maybe he must show he's a master by moving to one or two top clubs and then, begin to command positions. Then we'll say he's the best player we have ever seen. Until then, I think he's a great player. But in terms of medics and taking care of himself, the application of wisdom is key. What you must do as a player, what you must not do. The Americans believe in safety before security. You have traveled around the world. Safety before security. I am teaching my kids safety, security, protection, and then prevention. You need to prevent. You need to play safe. Once you do this, you don't even have to consider security. You don't even have to consider protection. If you play it safe. And it is important. Every player, every athlete, where you don't have to go, things you don't have to do, you don't venture. And I feel that where Kudus is going, Kudus is not just himself, but God has given Kudus to Ghana and his family. And all of us, everybody, must be interested in the goodwill, must be interested in everything Kudus does. I pray that Ghana prays for Kudus. We wish Kudus well.
What would you say generally about the form of the Black Stars? Now, Kudus has become a point of heavy reliance and all, and we're all looking forward to even drawing a lot more from him. But of course, at this time, we're also talking about, his form, okay? We're talking about his form. We're talking about the general form of the Black Stars team that he's playing for. In this past year, we've seen, the Black Stars record different, sets of results. And, in terms of the qualification for the next World Cup, not everybody is just on the alert because we've been given reality checks already.
So what's new now?
I do not think that we have a bad Black Stars. I don't think we have a bad Black Stars team.
It's long.
Okay, I think I can go on. I don't think we have a bad Black Stars team. If you come to the goalkeeping area, we have Atizigi, Ofori is back. The other white guy.
Wollacott.
If you look at the.
You mean light-skinned?
Yes. Not seriously. We do not have a bad team. Now, when you come to the defense, you have quality that can play in any team in the world. I'm being frank. If I look at our players individually, goalkeeping, defense, midfield, and even attack, we may say our attack is average. But you see, normally you don't need an overly sharp attack. If you have a team, you don't need an overly sharp attack. Remember, we have played these Black Stars without an overly sharp attack. There's been occasions where we have even played with only one striker in Asamoah Gyan. But because we had a solid team, we were always winning. What is important is for the coach to get stuff right. The positioning of the players, application of their skill, and how they compose themselves on the field. Now, if we get these things right, and the good Lord is on our side, I think we should be able to win matches and advance. I mean, what we haven't done is to maybe keep one set of team or a set of boys playing regularly together. Today, you see Nat. Tomorrow is Osesibe. The day after is Benai or another player. We should be confident what we need. I said this about 2-3 years ago, and people didn't like the statement I made. At some point, I said that, look, the cycle, football is a cycle, okay? Not in life. You go up, you come down, depending on how you manage your transition. Unfortunately, as Black Stars, we haven't managed our transition well lately. Talking about transition, when the late Ben Kofi decided to do a certain 4-year development plan, he started with the Sule Muntaris. Now, at the Black Stars level, he had to ask all the so-called top players out of the team. He made Emmanuel Kufuor the general, the captain. Amanko Amriku was in the team. By then, the Sule Muntari, John Mensah, Michael Essien squad had graduated from under 21 at the world level. And he pushed about 5 or 6 of them into the Black Stars. Beyond that, the Dede Ayew squad was also transitioned into the Black Stars. Beyond the Dede Ayew squad, we were thinking that the Asefo squad, the Seydou Salifou squad, will also be transitioned into the Black Stars. Unfortunately, anytime our under-20 has gone bad, we've never had quality players for the Black Stars. You go back. When our junior team, the youth team, the under-20 and the Olympic team was doing well, we always had a solid Black Stars team. Unfortunately, the transition has become a problem. Problem I cannot speak to, but you and I know that interests and other things is the bane of where we are. But as we speak, we have quality players. I would challenge anybody who say we don't have players. We have players. Our coaches must get it right. Once we get it right and we do the right things, both on and off the field, I don't think Black Stars will disgrace Ghana. But again, those who ask that we pray for Black Stars should also respect the people who pray for the Stars. Thank you.
Well, those who ask that we pray for the Black Stars should respect those who play for the team.
Who pray?
Yes, who also pray. Okay. All right. Well,
you're asking me to pray.
Yeah.
I feel that you must respect me.
Yeah, that's true. Well, we'll do some more here, but remember you can send in your messages. Remember it's 055-1111-997, 055-1111-997. So you are of the opinion that, I mean, the Black Stars do have quality, only that the coaches must be up and doing so that they can get them, turn them around into a winsome team. So that then means that there sure is a lot of hope for the qualifiers for the FIFA World Cup?
No, it depends on how we position ourselves. You know, sometimes I've had issues with call-ups. I've had issues with selection. I've even had issues with the coach. And the way you play your players will determine the kind of results you want. Unfortunately, we have not allowed our players to play. We don't allow them to play. And, you know, the analogy I do make is that, and we all have asked, at club level, they are fantastic. What makes it difficult for them to perform when they come to the national team? Is it because of the system they play? Is it because they have a challenge they cannot speak about? It is because of how they are even played? I think these are things we must understand. And people who have followed football often have told us that the roles our players play in Europe, when they come, and it is possible, we should allow them to play the same role. I mean, I hear people say that they are surrounded by different types of players. Not. They are not surrounded better than the players they find or they play with when they come back home. At the club level, they cannot be better than the players we have called into our national team. Are you telling me that Kudus, for instance, putting all the Western players together as against Black Stars, will Western be better than Black Stars, player for player? I don't think so. So if he's producing results, what role has he been given? A certain free role in Ghana? Does he get that free role? These are the things. Positioning of players is even a problem. People, when they come into the Black Stars, want to do what they want, and that is what I call tactical indiscipline. If a coach cannot instill tactical discipline, then the coach has no business staying there. But I don't think the problem, you know, is beyond coaching, and we must find solutions to our problems. Otherwise not. We will continue the quest to get Ghana gold or to bring the cup after so many years, and it will never happen. Serious nations are doing serious things. They are taking serious decisions. They are doing the right investment. Once you do that, you get the blessing of the whole country and the kind of results you want will come. What we need to do as Ghanaians, we have done for the Black Stars. Government has done everything they need. So the managers and the players themselves must get ready to deliver. Otherwise, we'll get disappointed and we won't mind them again. I mean, there was a time nobody was interested in the Black Stars. What we need as Ghanaians is results. They should put their hands together and give us the results we want. And once you do that, once you bring back the love, Ghanaians will be happy.
We're going to the Africa Cup of Nations, you know, in the next couple of weeks, just about 3 to 4 weeks' time. Now, we're yet to know what the plan for final camping will be. This is something that has been spoken about publicly, and we, for now, have a squad of around 50. And, you know, Tariq Lamptey has come up for conversation because he is injured and doesn't look like will be anywhere close to fit, let alone be match fit. And now the question is, why would a name like that feature in there, especially when we do know that, you know, Tariq Lamptey, or we are supposed to know that Tariq Lamptey's condition doesn't allow him to be available in any way for selection or being put in a provisional squad?
Now, I've heard his coach speak at club level, and I tend to disagree with the opinion of the coach. It's happened all over. Now, when squads are being named, that's why we call it provisional. Now, if indeed Chris did check Tariq's recovery period and realized that by the Cup of Nations period, he would have recovered, then I don't think it was out of order for him to have included Tariq. Because you check recovery period and probably the doctors will tell you that he would recover mid-January, or let's say second, third week January, then you can put him as part of your provisional list. By the time you do your final squad, if he's unfit, then you can take him out of the team. This is a provisional list. So I don't agree with the coach, the kind of statement he's made against our coach. I do disagree, because Chris Hughton will not be the first person to have a provisional list. Chris Hughton will not be the first person to have supposedly injured players in his provisional list. Normally, the anticipation is that by the time we get into competition, the player would have recovered. And if the player is a top player, obviously you would need him for even 20 minutes per match. So I don't see anything wrong with what Chris did. I guess we're also not sure about Partey, but Partey is in the team. Just last week or the early this week, I realized that Partey started training. So you never know. Once you have a top player and is injured, and you check, you realize that the recovery period will run close into the tournament. There's nothing wrong for you to consider that.
Okay, so let's now zoom out of that space a little bit. We're very clear. You have expressed confidence in the ability of the players to deliver. Only that, of course, the technical heads must be sharp and must come to the party. Now, let's look at an issue about our infrastructure and how in recent times, especially over this past year, we have had reminders that our stadia, or our various stadia, irrespective of how new they are or how well refurbished they are, cannot host most of these CAF-sanctioned competitions. And every other time we have to make modifications and make last-minute arrangements and engage at the last minute before we can get our venues or our infrastructure to host events of such crucial nature in 2023.
You see, about 6 weeks ago, when this issue came up, I made a comment, and some leaders didn't find my comment encouraging, so they had to engage me, but not. This is a simple scenario. You work with multimedia, okay? And multimedia, per your contract, proposed or told you that they will be responsible for your accommodation. Now, I feel that if at the end of the year, you get a certain, the 13th month or a certain take home, it will only be wise for NAT to find ways of either refurbishing the accommodation provided by multimedia, or go get a land somewhere and develop your own. I find it very intriguing that we as a country, we invest so much into our World Cup qualifiers. We get a little out of how much was invested in the World Cup qualifiers. Indeed, the money FIFA gives us, clearly, per my understanding, is for development. If indeed it's for development, not. Does sharing the money to officials amount to development? If we cannot even use part of that money or engage government and say that, look, you invested $20 million, we have $7 million. We think that we have bad pitches. In 3-4 years' time, we'll begin another World Cup, project. So let's use about $1 million to fix our various stadia. This is the same stadia that brings the money, the same stadia that takes us to the World Cup. We go to the World Cup, we make money, and we feel that nobody can speak to it. For me, I find it worrying. It's just unfortunate we have had issues with our pitches. Yes, government day in, day out, not. You can bear witness. Government recently spent some money on the Accra Sports Stadium. Government spent money on the Kumasi Sports Stadium. We are told, that I am not sure, that Esipon is under construction. Cape Coast and all. Government did its best to put up these facilities, including Tamale. If indeed, and the pressure on government is big. The pressure on government is big. So, government invests so much through qualifiers. One qualifier will cost us between 700 to 800,000. So after playing about 8 qualifiers, we qualify to the World Cup. We send supporters, we prepare the team, we pay appearance, we do all that. And then we get a bit of that money from FIFA. It is only wise that that money is reinvested into where it came from, or it's reinvested into what will take us back to the World Cup. So there should even be a plan. You get 7 million, you sit down with government and say that government, we'll play another qualifier. This is the strategy for the next World Cup, so we can get to the semi-finals. This is how we want to invest 7 million. But if out of your own way, you decide or you engage government to share whooping bonuses, I find it worrying. I feel that sometimes some of this money must go back into maintenance. Because clearly FIFA says it's for development, and maintenance is part of development. Now, if you don't maintain the pitch, how can your Kudus and your Tariq and your Andrews play on a quality pitch to qualify for you?
Very well, very well.
Qualification is not just about talent. Qualification is not just about bonuses. Qualification is not just about the operations. It includes preparation of your pitch and other things. So you make so much. Also, based on pressure from government is unable to regularly maintain these facilities. Any smart person, not your car you drive, assuming it is the contract between yourself and multimedia to maintain the car. The month has ended. You haven't been asked to take the car to the shop or whatever for maintenance, and you have money. Will you say respectfully that you must wait for multimedia to come maintain the car that you drive before you're able to come to work and do other things? We all do it. We use our own money to do stuff that our employers are supposed to do for us. I'm saying that, yes, it is the responsibility of government to maintain these pitches. But we can have an MOU with government and say that, look, we've had bad pitches. We've had issues with CAF and FIFA. Pitches. You think government will not support this?
They sure would have to. We're still live.
We can't just blame government for the non-maintenance. Government put up those facilities. Yes, it is their responsibility to maintain them. But if through the support government has given to you, you have gotten X, it is only fair that we invest a part of the X into maintaining the pitches so we can have a smooth qualifier.
Very well. Talk about pitches. We'll be talking about the Ghana Premier League and key highlights from the year. On the positive side, at least we got our clubs to get into the group stages of, or the group zones of the CAF Confederation Cup and the CAF Champions League. In terms of impact, well, we'd have to discuss that at another day. But of course, that shows that there is a certain level of progress as well. Yeah, on the not so pleasant side, we saw some incidents of hooliganism. We saw the attacks on referees. Key amongst them was coach Maxwell Kunedu, who collapsed, at a game after he was attacked by a fan. And all of these issues are issues that we'd have to address. But before we get into all of those, we'd have to spend a bit of time to talk about this story that Joy Sports has placed on the sports page of myjoyonline.com. Now, the Ghana FA has spent 8.6 million on projects funded without money from the FIFA Forward program since 2016, according to a report from the World's Football Governing Body. Now, FIFA Forward is an initiative which is tailor-made to support football development that the organization provides for all its 211 member associations and 6 confederations. In total, Ghana was entitled to get $10.7 million in that period, but just over 80% of that amount was approved by FIFA. So there are other countries who have benefited, the Gambia, Lesotho, Niger, Tanzania, and Zambia, who have used it to do various things. Now, Gary Al Smith, who has been following this matter, and has been, following the progress of this particular matter, since the issue of the FIFA forward came up, has joined, and he'll be giving us a lot more insight into this and what we should be worried about, if there is anything to worry about. Gary, thank you very much for your time this afternoon.
Yeah, thank you, Nathaniel. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Gary. Now, what exactly should we be bothered about when it comes to this? There are so many issues that the Ghana FA is dealing with, okay, in terms of image and all of that. And of course, since number 12 and all of its ripple effect issues, the thought is that we are on a road to recovery in terms of how we're managing our finances, how we're administering the sport and all of that. What should be the area of concern in this particular matter?
Well, yeah, thank you, Nathaniel. So just to give some background first, this report is FIFA's report, to repeat the word, of all the money it has given to all FAs, right, for football development. Like you said when you were reading the background and the introduction, Nathaniel, the FIFA Forward program is essentially money that FIFA gives to all FAs, for what the FAs deem to be priority development areas. So let me just stress that. It used to be called the FIFA Go program, right, Nathaniel? So when Sepp Blatter was in power, he called it the FIFA Go project, which a lot of Ghanaians are familiar with, as was used to build the Pram, and all that stuff. When Gianni Infantino came, so Nathaniel, in essence, between you and me, it's the same money. It's just that one administrator decided to name it something different so that it can be seen to be his initiative rather than a continuation of that of its predecessor, right? So that's it. It's the same FIFA Go project, but it's called FIFA Forward now. So it was one FIFA Forward 1.0, 2.0, and they are now saying that from 2023, it will be FIFA Forward 3.0. The report that came out yesterday morning details what was used between 2016 and 2022. 2016 and 2022. In the case of Ghana, that should tell us that it was between the final years of Kwesi Nyantakyi, right? Because Kwesi Nyantakyi went out of power in June 2018. Yes. Then we had the normalization committee coming in. Then after that, we have the Kurt Okraku administration.
Sure.
So all the monies that have been used, it's important to note, span these three administrations. How does it work? FIFA gives an allocation to every country. However, they don't just give you the money. You literally have to pitch and write a proposal before they give you the money. They follow the progress of what you are doing. In some cases, they come down, find or look at the projects, do it with you, then it is audited. That's basically the procedure. Okay, Nathaniel? So the GFA says that in that time, we have built a pitch in Winkogo. Winkogo is in Bolgatanga, near Bolgatanga Secondary School. And they have built a pitch that costs $900,000. Okay, right? So that was the first phase. They say it cost $900,000 according to the report. They also say that, the FIFA, the content management system, where we stopped being manual in the way we input our things, all our clubs are now doing things in a computerized way. The GFA says that it used money from the FIFA Forward to train everybody across the pyramid, Premier League clubs, Division 1 clubs, Division 2 clubs, everybody who needed to use, that is the FIFA Connect system, the FIFA content management system, and so on and so forth. So that's what the GFA used the money for. Then, other things. But basically, if you sum it all up, out of the $10.7 million that we were eligible to get, the GFA was successful in getting about 80% of that. That's about $8.6 million from 2016 to 2022. And that is it. in the report, I go further, just for clarity, for context, and for people to be able to draw their own conclusions. I state what some of our neighbors near and far use their own allocations for. So I mentioned that Gambia, for example, say, and this is, because FIFA has written it, it means that FIFA agrees that Gambia actually did that. Gambia built 14 pitches, Nathaniel, 14. They have upgraded their version of Pram Pram, their technical center, to a hotel facility that hosts their national teams now. And when their national teams are not camping there, what do? They rent it out to third parties. That is what, for example, Gambia say they have done, right? Then you have Niger. I wrote in the reports about what Niger, they gave subventions to 91 clubs. They built one stadium. They built 2 technical centers and upgraded their FA headquarters. Lesotho built 4 technical centers. Sao Tome built 1 stadium and 1 artificial pitch. South Africa built 2 technical centers. Tanzania built 2 technical centers and 4 pitches. That's 2 natural and 2 artificial. Zambia renovated 4 stadia and added 4 pitches to its technical center. Morocco decided that they have all the infrastructure, so they needed to put the money into something else. So they decided to focus on women's football, right? So they put $500,000, just $500,000, into supporting their women's leagues, giving standard payments to their players so that across the board, the women will be paid well. And the results for Morocco have been clear. As you know, Morocco, apart from finishing in the semi-final of the World Cup last year, their women's national team finished second at the 2022 Women's Africa Cup of Nations. Remember, back in 2016, Morocco was a whipping boy. Everybody used to beat Morocco. Right?
Sure.
They booked their first ever qualification for the Women's World Cup in 2023. They qualified for the Under-17 Women's World Cup in 2022 in India. According to Morocco, this is as a result of using just $500,000 in capacity building and women's football development. So, yeah, the report is there. I've put links on my Joy Online so anybody can download and have a look at it. So everybody can draw their own conclusions, Nathaniel, about whether we are using our monies well or not.
Well, so clearly our peers are drawing a lot more value from the funding they're getting from FIFA. And this is according to what the evidence that you have provided, clearly.
Well, yeah, and just to, it's not evidence that I am providing. It's a FIFA report that is open and is
there. So, you are providing it
so
for
that,
us. But then,
people don't think that,
it's something you're manufacturing. No, not at all. Not at all.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's there. It's in a PDF document. It's detailed. So it gives you how much every country was or how much was available, to every member association, that's every FA, and how much they actually accessed, how much they used out of that money for the actual projects, how much was used for operational cost. So, for example, in the case of Nigeria, the money they got, right, they used 53%, 55% for operational costs out of the money.
55% operational costs.
Yes,
Charles is laughing.
and Ghana used 53% for operational costs.
Yeah. Well, maybe the focus for each FA is different or varies. So
exactly, so again, our job is to bring out the things, you attach the document, everybody is able to look. Then we can have a broader conversation about, even when I put out the report, these things, most people don't like going through tedious reports. So, I've been looking at this for the last week. I was given a teaser of the report before it came out yesterday. That's why I was able to get it out so quickly. So, immediately I put out the report, guess what? Some of the journalists from some of the countries where they say they have, their FA say they have done this and that, say, hey, Gary, the people, they are lying. They have not done. And I said, that is not my job. My job is, the people in FIFA say the money that has been available, they have used it to buy this and this and this. So they have put it in a report. It is now your job so for example, the Gambians are saying that yes, they know that some work has been done on 14 pitches, but it is absolutely not true what the FIFA report is saying, that, it has been done to this extent. And I'm like, well, we all have to interrogate the people who represent us there. So now that the thing is out, we can now, from today, start asking the Ghana FA that, you say you use $900,000 to build the facility at Wenkogo near Bolgatanga. We can now go to Bolgatanga, Nathaniel, right?
Yes.
And see if it is worth $900,000, and then we continue the discussions from there.
Clearly, there's a lot of work to do. There's a lot of work to do on this one, but at least there is massive information which we've placed in this report on our website. So let's go have a look at it. And of course, we're going to tease out all the other aspects which require a lot more questioning and a lot more answers from Ghana FA. You're still here on the Joy Sports Link on Joy 99.7 FM. Contributing at this moment are Gary Al Smith of Joy Sports, and also Charles Osei-Sibe, who is the General Secretary of the Sports Writers Association of Ghana and President of the African Arm Wrestling Federation. Let's make some quick comments on our Premier League. The switch of the headline sponsor to a supporting sponsor, and also key incidents of hooliganism and the clubs. So let me just share this between Gary and Charles. Charles, look, we've had our clubs get back into the CAF Champions League and the CAF Confederation Cup, this time going beyond the preliminary stages.
Sure.
What are the lessons to learn from there?
Well, we have said in the past that anytime we seem to focus on the national team, or when the national teams do well, the clubs don't perform. When the clubs do well, the national team doesn't perform. But generally, I must confess that as much as this FA is concerned, as much as we have our reservations about the way they do things, first of all, I must commend them for what they have done for the women's game. Well-organized league, FA Cup, the national teams doing well, especially the Black Queens. At some point, I was opposed to the decision of employing an expert, but Hoptel has proven that she came to work, and we are happy with what is happening to the Black Queens. So I commend the FA for that bold decision and the kind of support they have given to Nora Hoptel. Now, the clubs, we think that our league is not the best. We have raised a number of concerns. This year, the league is doing well, except a number of hooliganisms that we have recorded. Also, except a number of decisions or officiating decisions that people felt that it didn't go the right way. I feel that the clubs are doing well. Nations FC, straight from Division 1, they haven't disgraced themselves. Unfortunately, my own Heart of Lions is not doing well. It tells you that everybody is into business. But as far as our game is concerned, I am particularly so happy with the performances of Dreams FC and Mediema. Even though Mediema, for some reason, is not doing well in the Champions League group games, I feel that they have given a good account of Ghana. Truly, we weren't expecting them to do what they have done or to get to where they got to. In the last few years, anytime we have gone into Champions League or Confederations, first round or knockout stage, we come back home. But to get into the group stage and perform the way they are performing, I think I expected Mediema to do more because they have better experience. Yes, the opponents they have met seem to have prepared better than them, seem to understand the African terrain, seem to understand how to play Champions League better than them. But I felt that it was a time for Mediema to do more than what they could do or they have done. But personally, I think Mediema has done so well. Dreams FC is the shocker because, yes, they won our FA Cup, Even how they got to the finals, how they won the FA Cup was a surprise to everybody. But they have gone into Africa trying to prove that the league in Ghana is not bad. I've had people ask me, so will you guys continue to say our league is bad? I am happy with the way the two teams are playing. But for the little incidents at our various league centers, I think that the football season hasn't been that bad, Nat.
Great stuff there. Great stuff there. One of the key things that the current FA prides itself in is the fact that they've been able to draw in a certain quantum of sponsorship. This has been extended to the second tier of men's football and women's football. They all have headline sponsors. Recently, Abet Power decided to refocus the direction of their sponsorship to make it a supporting sponsor instead of a headline sponsor of the Ghana Premier League. Well, that obviously, drew a lot of worry from all of us who are looking forward and who've been making efforts to push the product further. Let me have Gary handle this one. Gary, this sponsorship matter. We've moved one step and then we've come back another step. Gary, can you hear me? Okay, so Charles, I guess that you'd have to handle this one as well.
Okay, so Nat, a lot of things go on that we are not informed. We cannot tell exactly what happened or the kind of discussions that went on between the FA and Bet Power. It is possible that the anticipated projections of Bet Power is not going right. So they had to come back to the table to have a discussion with the FA. I don't know whether the role or the role will affect how much they were investing in the league. That I am sure the FA will not let it go like that. I know there's FA. Once you say you are going to give us 2 cedis, we'll take our 2 cedis from you. It is also possible that the FA probably might have had some discussions with them concerning other partners who probably are willing to invest in the league. Discussion of quantum of investment and all probably must have come up, and the other party feels that, okay, I'll be an associate sponsor and I cannot pay for headline sponsor. Remember, the terms and conditions, sometimes they will go for renegotiation. Sometimes they will go and say that, look, let's have a discussion into what we are doing. A lot of things probably might have gone on. You and myself may not be privy to. So unless the FA or Bet Power comes out to tell us exactly what happened, we cannot speak to it. What is worrying? I mean, for me, I don't find this so strange. Bet Power hasn't pulled out. All that they are saying is that I cannot be a title sponsor. Now, for all you know, it could also probably be because of the challenges the FA is having. I know that for some time now, the FA has been very, very strong on, how do you call it? They have been very strong on making sure that people or Ghanaians don't take advantage of the relationship between Bet Power and the FA and begin to be betting on our games. There are ethics issues. There are moral issues. So for all you know, they have gone into these discussions, but let us not speculate. All I'm saying is that there's nothing wrong. This is better than what happened with Glow. This is better than what happened with Glow. The sponsor is not out. They have just done
recalibration.
Yes. And I feel that once they are willing to continue their relationship with the FA, we should support the FA. You made a point earlier. This FA, I must confess, I don't know where the magic is coming from, but they have been able to bring on more developing partners. They have been able to raise more resources to spend on the game itself. And thumbs up to Kurt and his administration, Prosper, Jamel Marabi, and all the guys at the FA. Before now, we didn't see this number of sponsorships, irrespective of the quantum. Whether it's 5 cities, whether it's 10 cities, I can confidently say that they have partners who are supporting the development of the game. And the FA has, again, reminding ourselves of where we have come from. It would naturally have been difficult for the FA, but they have been able to, raise sponsorship, making sure that local content is running smoothly. So Nat, there's an adage in Chi, in America too. They are doing some great work, and thumbs up for the FA.
Okay.
I am a federation person, and I know sponsorship doesn't come easy. So for them to be able to do what they are doing with the little sponsorship coming in, I commend the FA for that good work.
In the next minute and a half, Charles, before you take leave of us, I would want you to throw a bit of focus on arm wrestling and the inroads that have been made, especially in this year of 2023, which has marked a major milestone for you personally as a sports administrator, rising to start off work of this federation, and also getting the rights to bring the world championships to this side, of the world and all of that.
Well, Nat, I particularly am happy because when I got into this, yes, there were distractions. There were people who didn't believe in the sport I wanted to manage, but I told myself that I believe in brand building, so I have to push and make it happen. All of you have been supportive. Ghanaians have been supportive, corporate partners, journalists, the Ministry of Youth and Sports, and all. This year, I must say, has been very good for us. We started the year with our normal championship, the area events and all that, and then we're able to sign on SES Ghana HD Plus. We traveled around the country to senior high schools to encourage participation, to promote development. We went to a number of schools, and by the time we were done, we were able to introduce the sport to over 27,000 students. Aside that, we're able to get about 400 kids drafted into our national academy. And that, for me, the best way to develop sports is at the youth level. As we speak, schools nationwide understand what arm wrestling is. And I feel so proud about that. We also hosted the Africa Championship here, and we won with 138 medals. I mean, all the countries, Egypt, Nigeria, top countries, South Africa, and the rest came in, and were able to prove to them that we are the best in Africa. And the kind of event we organize, I haven't seen in this country. Our Africa event live on 4 television stations for 2 days. When the world president came into town, he was also surprised because even at the world level, they don't get TV to support them. It was one of the reasons for which aggressively pushed us to win the bid for the world. We put in a bid. We got support from National Investment Promotion Council. Kwesi Ajiman and his Ghana Tourism Authority supported the Ministry of Youth and Sports, and we went in and won the bid. So generally, if you ask me, arm wrestling has come good this year. We are playing in the Africa Games, and we don't want to say so much. We pray that come March 2024, arm wrestling will win the medals we won for Ghana. And that, I'm using Joy FM. I find it so worrying. Nat, you and I have done this job for so many years, okay? Now, we have gone to international games. We find event organizers and all sorts of groups embarking on fundraising campaigns for getting Ghana gold. We are going into Africa Games, being hosted by Ghana. What is preventing us from engaging corporate Ghana to embark on Get Ghana Gold agenda? Arm wrestling is starting a Get Ghana Gold agenda on Wednesday. And by the grace of God, if we get corporate Ghana to support us, to help us prepare our teams, we will win nothing less than 10 medals for Ghana. That one is an assurance. It's a Get Ghana Gold campaign for arm wrestling, and we are just going to do that. Just before I go, the Sports Writers Association of Ghana, God willing, January 12th, at the Accra International Conference Center, our ritual event, which is the Swag Awards, will come up. A number of athletes and administrators have been named for honors on the night. 27 categories, 50 individuals will be honored during the 48th Nguvu Swag Awards at the Accra International Conference Center. His Excellency, the Vice President, is our top guest. He's going to be there. Sir Sam Jonah is going to be there. The Youth and Sports Minister is going to be there. And one great Kenyan artist coming from the Western region will be the performer for the night. So we anticipate a great event. We're inviting all our colleagues, everybody who is interested in attending the event to come help us honor sports excellence on the night, can get in touch with SWAG. And by the grace of God, January 12th, SWAG Awards will be done and dusted. Finally, athletics, the mother of all sports, NAT, will also prepare to make Ghana proud during the Africa Games. The year was good. I wouldn't say it was best. The year was good, but our focus is on looking at how we'll be able to win global laurels for Ghana in 2024 and beyond.
Charles Osei-Sibe, thank you so much. And Papa Toki, we would have a beverage to share. Yes, we'll have a beverage to share on your table at the Swag Awards. We'll talk about that later on.
Thank you, bro. Thank you, bro.
All right. Charles Osei-Sibe is the General Secretary of the Sports Writers Association of Ghana and the African Federation President of Arm Wrestling. Just joining me with his perspective on issues on football, arm wrestling, and a bit of athletics. He is captured on one of our shows this week as having, advocated for the investment of $500,000 into our athletes and their preparations so we could start getting proper measurable results from them. Now, George Addo Jr. of the BBC has attended at least the last, one of the last two editions of the World Athletics Championships, has been following our top-end athletes, at very close range, and has thoughts to share with us on this particular, element of advocacy that Charles Osei-Sibe has raised about our athletes and how we should be preparing them. Also, the most successful sport that Ghana has ever known is boxing. Boxing has been our savior at the last edition of the Olympic Games. We're preparing for the Africa Games. There's something major happening tonight, but how does all of that tie into our getting ourselves ready for major stuff? Of course, on the international scene as well, we do know what happened with our senior-most boxers. We'll be talking about that as well before we wrap up the show today on the Joy Sports Link. So you can join us with your thoughts at 055-11-11997. And that's where I bring in George Addo Jr. George, good to have you here on the show again. All right, so I'll try to re-establish contact with George Addo Jr., who's joining us from Leicester, where he is on a leg of work. He'll be joining us very shortly. So, George, can you kindly unmute? I guess that's where we're having the challenge. So, George, can you hear me now? All right, so we'll come to George. We'll come to George very shortly. But let's then throw the focus on boxing. This afternoon, we want to take a look at something major that's happening this evening. We do remember that in the past few months, we've had a face show up in the light heavyweight division. His name is Seth Jima, but known in the ring as Freezy McBones. Now, Freezy McBones is staging a comeback fight on home ground and on home soil at the Bukom Boxing Arena later tonight. And this is a promotion he's putting together, in collaboration with some of his other associates in the sport. Now, he tried unsuccessfully to book a place at the Olympic Games at the last qualifier that was held in Senegal. And the boxer whom he fought and lost to is the one he was supposed to fight tonight. But there was a development where the Senegalese Federation restrained the boxer from engaging in any fights because they feel it will be a big risk for him. He could get injured. I'd like the gentlemen here in the studio to introduce themselves, and then we can get into the conversation about promoting our local boxing and also look at key things that have happened this year, especially with our big names like Isaac Dogbe and in recent times Sena Agbeko, who all lost in their attempts to win world titles for Ghana. So gentlemen, can you kindly do the introductions for all of us? Let's begin with you.
All right. My name is Nantiti Stanley. I'm a featherweight boxer in Ghana. And my ring name is Ashanti Warrior.
Great. Ashanti Warrior. That brings us to another very big subject about getting boxers who do not originally come from the Greater Accra region. And then the gentleman seated next to you.
Nat, how are you?
I'm great.
Nat, how do you want me to do this? Okay, I'm Carl Loco, the boxing trainer.
Okay. And Carl Loco is also an executive member of the Ghana Boxing Authority. And he is the pioneering trainer of former world champion Richard Comey as well. Gentlemen, good to have you here in the studio. Let's now talk. Let's quickly talk about what's happening tonight at the Bukom Boxing Arena. Freezy McBones is launching himself in a big way with the fans tonight, and it has a lot of implications as well for his career going forward. He wants to go and fight for a place at the Olympics as well.
Yeah, I mean, for the first place, I would say a good work done by Freezy McBones, because a boxer still fighting, trying to become a promoter, to give other boxers a platform for them to showcase what they have. It's a good thing, and it's something that we need to support him, and we need to encourage him to do it. So the boxers that will have the chance to fight, they also feel at home, because it's a big show. I mean, it's a big show. If he's trying to do a show at the Bukom Boxing Arena, trying to fill up the space or the place of Bukom Boxing Arena, all the boxers who will be on the show will feel great, and they will see that they have got a good platform.
So, what do you make of his the will and the expression to fight for country? I mean, I feel that technically he still has a lot to, and he admits it himself. But then, he's just become this big social media sensation, and he's drawing a lot of following, converting a lot of people to come and follow boxing.
Yeah, I mean, what you just said is very important, because that is why I said we are happy and we have to support Freezy McBones for what he's doing, because I can't wait to see how the arena will be filled to capacity, just because we all know about the name Freezy before he came down to Ghana, and although he went to the qualifier and things couldn't work the way he wants, but he's down here in Ghana still, and he's trying to put up a show. Thinking of Ghana, you can see clear that he really wants to give back to Ghana, and if not, somebody by this time maybe he will be gone. I mean, to his base. Then if anything, he will come back. But for him staying and still trying to put up this kind of show or this kind of fight, for other boxers to get a platform to fight, I think is something great.
All right. Let's zero in on, we'll be talking some more about Freezy and what we should be expecting later tonight. But let's also zero in on promotions and opportunities for young boxers. Now, the talk about Kumasi reminds me, the last time we had something major in Kumasi when it comes to boxing promotions was when I announced the fights or the return bout between Bukom Banku and Ayite Powers. Now, years on, we're still looking forward to seeing if we can get a name or a face from, outside the known zone of Greater Accra or the Volta region to stand up in boxing and do something massive. So, Ashanti Warrior, tell me about, your aim and what you've placed ahead of you and what your inspiration really is. Because when we're talking about boxing, it's always the Greater Accra region and sometimes the Volta region because of Isaac Dogbe and Joseph Agbeko.
Okay, first of all, I'll give a very big thanks to God and my coach here, Coach Kaloko, and my manager, Gordon Frimpong. Yeah, I came to Accra here to be a world champion. Yes, it is my vision. It is what I want to do in this, like, my lifetime.
I see.
So yeah, I came to Accra here to win a world title and to be a title unificator. I want to unify all the four titles.
Oh,
yes, I want to do that. That's my dream.
In your weight division?
Yes, I want to do that.
Which division are you in?
Featherweight right now.
You're a featherweight.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
So Azuma was a featherweight. DK Poison was a featherweight. We have quite a number of them as well in our history. Great. Now, you do realize that you are one in a million, because we don't have many boxers who draw their roots to Ashanti region and many other parts of the country, becoming that prominent in our sport.
Yeah, sure. That's why they call me the Ashanti Warrior.
Okay.
That's why they call me the Ashanti Warrior. You know, having Coach Kaluku by my side, training me all the time, teaching me what to do inside the ring, is what's getting me to this or where I'm going right now.
I see.
And now I was dreaming about to become a world champion, and now I can see it happening. Okay, now I haven't reached anywhere, but I can see the signs that I'm getting there.
I see.
So, yeah.
Tonight you are fighting, right?
Yeah, I'm fighting tonight.
Okay. Tell me about your opponent, you know, what you know about him and what the fans should expect from you later tonight on Freezy McBone's bill.
Okay. My opponent is not from Accra here too. I think he's from the Volta region. Yeah, so, and me fighting beside Freezy McBones, you know, Freezy is not from Accra here too. He's an Akan like me.
Yeah.
So fighting beside my senior brother is a big opportunity and a big honor to me. So I would say they should expect a good fight from me and a good win from me. Yeah, because I'm doing this for my coach Kaoluku. He has sacrificed a lot for me, so I'm doing it for my coach and now for, because I want to give him a world title.
I see.
So I'm doing this for my coach Kaoluku because he has sacrificed a lot for me. I can't even explain. Even my parents don't even know him.
I see.
I came to Accra here with just 3 bags. I was sleeping inside his gym. He was taking care of me like his own.
Wow.
Yeah, so I want to do this to honor him.
Yeah.
Yes, because he has suffered a lot for me.
You talk about winning a world title and doing this for your people, for Asante Mine, for Otumfuo Osei Tutu and all of that. Now, who is your inspiration in this sport, aside your trainer, who clearly gives you a lot of energy? Who is your inspiration?
Okay, my inspiration is Kofi Jantwa.
Okay, Kofi Jantwa, yeah, the former middleweight contender.
Yes.
Yeah.
He fought all the way to the world stage by, 2 or more things.
Yeah.
So he's my inspiration. They said as Asante people we can't do boxing, but he nearly won
a world title. Yeah, that's so true.
I can do it. And I have the spirit to do it. And Coach Kaluko by my side, yes, I can do it.
I see.
So yeah,
I see. Let's also talk about what you want to see done in your region, where you have come from, because you've had to come to Accra to better your craft.
Yeah.
So what would you want to see established in your region when it comes to infrastructure and all of that, so that young people like you can stay in Kumasi, stay in other towns in the region or other cities, and be able to develop themselves like you are doing now here?
Right. I want a big promotion over there.
Okay.
I want to fight a title like national belt or any title at that place for my people and other people to know how or to see how the things will go. So I want to fight. I want a big promotion over there